All right, day 25, the most dangerous situation we've been in. Let's see if I can do this. It had been a rough month. Mom had just gotten diagnosed, so my family was going through all that. At the time, I was working downtown. I was commuting in from New Jersey, so I took the PATH train in that morning, same as every other morning. And I remember I walked out, and I hadn't gotten 2 blocks away when I heard it. This, this window rattling boom, just shaking through lower Manhattan. But the thing is, this is New York. You got construction going on all the time, so I didn't even look up. I didn't even think twice. It wasn't until I had gotten like a bagel and a coffee that I walked outside and I realized everyone was looking up at something. And I looked, and I saw it. It's like a gaping hole with smoke and paper streaming out of it. I got up to the office. We were all watching the live coverage on TV. So we saw it when it happened. We saw it just sink into the ground. And as it came down, we saw this line of gray just go straight across our window. I remember Ishan right next to me saying, we should go. So we all ran downstairs and we got outside. And it was dark. It looked like it had been snowing, honestly. It was gray. There was a layer of dust over everything. There were flakes of ash in the air. And we all started running for the seaport. But the thing is I had a friend, Amanda, who was living in the pay storms. She was only 2 blocks away from what was happening. I couldn't just leave her there. So I turned to Matt as we were running. I just said, I got to go back. That's the only thing I said to him. I knew he was going to try to stop me, so I didn't give him a chance. I just turned around and ran. I got to the intersection of Fulton and Gold. That's where I stopped. I could feel the street shaking underneath me. I could hear, all kinds of chaos ahead of me. And I looked up, and there was a wall of gray just coming straight for me. I didn't move. I just stood there and let it hit me. It hit me so hard it knocked me back. I staggered. And in an instant, I was blind and deaf. Everything was gray. And then I felt something. I felt something getting pressed into my hands. And I looked up, and there was a guy in a dust mask. And he was handing me a handful of dust masks. And he just said, "Help." And I remember this because it wasn't a plea for help. He wasn't asking me. He was telling me. And in that instant, I knew all of my bewilderment, my fear, my panic, it was irrelevant. This was bigger than me. Never before and never since have I felt so certain about what I needed to do. And so I helped. They were everywhere, in the alleys, in the doorways, people wheezing and coughing, crying, afraid, lost. And I took the dust masks and I put them on their faces and I wiped the dust out of their eyes. And I said, "Come with me. You'll be okay." And I led them one by one to a little Korean deli that was acting as a safe house at the time. Each time I'd bring one of them back and I'd go right back out, find another one, bring them back. Over and over and over again, each time getting closer and closer. And eventually the dust cleared. The police and the firemen, they took over, and I was just left on the sidewalk, smoking a cigarette, squinting up at the sun, just covered in gray. It was streaked across my face in the sweat and the tears. Everyone was heading to the seaport so they could catch ferries back to New Jersey. I had a buddy of mine up north, so I just started walking up Broadway, trying to get to his apartment. I spent hours just walking, with dust in my hair, all over my clothes, in the creases of my boots. And I watched, as I went, the people who weren't there, the people who were listening on the radio, who were talking amongst themselves, who were finding out what I already knew and hearing what I'd already seen. I was different from them then. I could feel it. Even now, I'm different. I don't know exactly how, but the years after have not been without their trials, and I've faced them with what I hope is the same calm and strength as I showed that day. I was angry for a while after that. I wanted someone to blame. Over months of therapy, I'm probably still not right in the head. But as time goes on, the one thing that always sticks with me is that one word: help. If you take anything from this story, take the word help. There may come a time when you are faced with a situation that is bigger than you are, when you're called upon to put aside your own fears, your own terrors, and just do something. And I encourage you, on behalf of not just all of mankind, but of yourself, rise to the occasion. You won't regret it. That's it for now. I've got a bunch of videos to edit, and I've got a whole lot more to watch, so take it easy, VEDA. See you around. Love your faces.